Hi everyone and welcome back to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons. Today is grade 11 and 12 equations. We're looking at solving equations involving fractions, alright? So again, I've set up a worksheet which is still progression brackets, second level of testing, which is 1.2.2 equations with fractions, right? That I've set up for those of you that want tutoring. So, restrictions. Before we can solve anything on fractions, we need to understand why fraction sums have restrictions. So in grade 9, you've learned that division by 0 is undefined. We used to test you on that all the time, 5 divided by 0, etc. Therefore, equations involving fractions always have restrictions to prevent any denominator becoming 0. So to show you an example, if I have 3x minus 4, if x equals 4, that means where x is, I'm going to place 4. 4 minus 4 would give me 0. And anything divided by 0 becomes undefined. So therefore, if I have to solve this, my restriction would state that x cannot equal 4. Because if x equal to 4, the sum becomes undefined. Right, so let's look at problem number 1. Hope you understand why we have restrictions. So solve for x. 5 minus 4x divided by 3 equal 1 over 2x. So again, x is by the denominators here, so this x cannot equal 0 because 2 times 0 give me 0 and 1 divided by 0 is undefined. Because I have two fractions, I'm simply going to cross multiply. So I'm going to say 2x times 5 minus 4x and 3 times 1. 2x times 5 gives me 10x. Positive times negative gives me negative. 2 times 4 would give me 8. X times x gives me x squared. And there 3 times 1 becomes 3. I always must try to make the x squared positive because a lot of you complain to factorize with a negative. So if I take negative over, it becomes positive 8x squared. Plus 10, if I bring it over, becomes minus 10x. And that stays plus 3. Alright, so factors of 8 I'm using here, 4x times 2x. Factors of 3, because I have negative in the middle and the last term is positive, always becomes negative times negative. So minus 3 times minus 1. So 4 times negative 1 gives me negative 4. Minus 3 times 2 gives me negative 6. Minus 6 minus 4 gives me minus 10. So from there, if I take negative 3 over, 4x equal positive 3. We always divide by the coefficient in front of x. So x equal 3 over 4. Or 2x equal 1. Right? Negative 1 goes over, become positive 1. And we divide by 2. So x equal half. Alright, so there we have solved that. Right, so that's easy variation. Let's look at one that's got more than 2 fractions. Alright, so solve for x. We have 3x divided by 2 minus 1 over 4 equal 5 over 4x. Again, x is a denominator, so x there cannot equal 0 because 4 times 0 is 0 and 5 divided by 0 would be undefined. Alright, there. To add these two fractions, or all of them, because there's a minus or plus sign there, they all basically, as you can see, 2 can divide in 4, 4 can divide in 4, and they all need a x. So my lowest common denominator here, or lowest common multiple, some people complain if I use lowest common denominator, there must be 4x. So in short, I can say 2 goes in 4x twice, and then just simplify that as 2x on the top, or I can go the long process and I multiply everything on top by 4x. The objective is to get rid of the denominator. So 3x times 4x, 1 times 4x, 5 times 4x. So 2 goes in 4x twice, so that becomes 2x times 3x. 4 goes in 4 once, leaving negative x times 1 behind. And here 4x and 4x cancel, and I'm left with 5. So 1 there for my LCD and my restriction. 1 for correctly multiplying, 1 here for simplification. So 2x times 3x gives me 6x squared minus x, and if I take 5 over, negative 5 equals 0. So that mark there would be for standard form. If we factorize, 6x squared is 6x times x, which gives me 6x squared. 5 is a prime number, so it can only be 5 times 1. Right? For the signs, 6x times negative 1 gives me negative 6x plus 5x, or negative 6 plus 5 gives me negative x. Therefore, the 5 is positive and the 1 is negative. Take plus 5 over, 6x equal negative 5, and we divide by the coefficient in front of x. So x equal negative 5 over 6. And there if I take minus 1 over, x equal to 1. So 1 mark for those answers. Right, so this is straightforward. Linear equation, there's no x squared, etc. given there when we start. Right, let's look at a more complex variation. So number 3, solve for x. So this here is more complex. We're going to test your factorization skills. We're going to have to use the brackets to find the LCD. So I have 2x minus 3, my apologies, divided by x squared minus 4 equal x minus 1 divided by 2x squared minus 5x plus 2 plus 1 divided by 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Right, so these sums go anywhere from 6 up to 9 marks. So first, if I factorize, that's difference of 2 squares. Perfect square separated by minus. So x squared is x times x. 4 becomes 2 times 2. 1 is negative, the other one positive. We come over here, we have x minus 1. 2 is a prime number, so that 2x squared can only read 2x times x. There 2. Because the last term is positive and the middle term negative, my signs here become negative, negative. So negative 1 times negative 2. If I want to check, I have my 2 closest terms gives me minus 1x. My 2 furthest terms give me minus 4x. So minus 4x minus 1x gives me minus 5x. There 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. 2 and 2 are both prime numbers, so 2x squared can only be 2x times x, right? But for 2 there, it's negative, so it becomes negative 1 times positive 2. So 2 times 2 gives me 4x minus 1x, which gives me then 3x. So my lowest common denominator, or lowest common multiple, I have x minus 2, x minus 2. I have a x plus 2, x plus 2. And then I have 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1. So to add this fraction to that fraction to that fraction, they must have these 3 terms as their denominators. According to what we have, remember, I don't want the denominators to be 0. So there x can't equal 2 because 2 minus 2 gives me 0. 0 times anything stays 0, and if I divide by 0, undefined. Right, if we come here, x can't equal negative 2 because negative 2 plus 2 would give me 0. The same thing, and there for that one, take negative 1 over, become positive 1 divided by 2. X can't equal a half. So those are the 3 values. If I substitute in the brackets, will give me 0 and make the sums undefined. Alright? So, I have x minus 2. You're following now very carefully. I have x minus 2, I have x plus 2. What do I need here? 2x minus 1. So I cancel those 2 and it becomes 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. They have 2x minus 1, x minus 2. So I can cancel those 2. And on the top it becomes x minus 1 times x plus 2. They have 2x minus 1 times x plus 2. So I short x minus 2, so the top simply becomes 1 times x minus 2. And they have gotten rid of the denominators. 2 times 2 gives me 4. X times x gives me x squared. Minus 6x minus 2x gives me minus 8x. And minus 3 times minus 1 becomes positive 3. Here x times x becomes x squared minus 1x plus 2x becomes plus x. Negative 1 times positive 2 becomes negative 2. And 1 times anything stays the same, x minus 2. Alright, if I take x squared over, 4x squared minus x squared gives me 3x squared. Minus 8x minus x gives me minus 9x. Minus x gives me minus 10x. Minus 2 is minus 4. If I bring it over, 3 plus 4 would give me 7. 3 is a prime number, so it can only be 3 times 1. So therefore 3x times 1x. And 7 is also a prime number, so it can only become 7 times 1. The signs are both negative because the last term is positive and the middle term is negative. So there I have minus 7x minus 3x, which then gives me minus 10x. So from here, if I take negative 7 over, it must become plus 7 over 3, not negative 7. So my apologies there, just fix. That must read plus 7 over 3, and there if I take minus 1 over, must x equal 1. So there, as I said, minus 7 go over, it become plus 7, not negative 7. I've made an error. Just to show you, it's very easy to make an error if you lose concentration. And we generally make it towards the end where we feel we're done with the difficult part. And divide by 3. So that must read plus 7 over 3. Right, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. God bless. Wish you nothing but the best. Bye.